Morning, good morning. Well, good morning for everybody in the US. It is, let's see, what time is it here? It's 4:02 p.m. in Dubai. And I just woke up Carrie from her nap, so she is not very excited about it. Oh, and I also got like a new mic. Ooh, sounds so like crisp, I feel like. Carrie, would you like to say anything? Like you can hear. What's up, girl? Okay, she's like all up in. You want to sniff it? No, no, she's not interested. Anyway, hey y'all, I figured I would get on here because I have been telling everyone and their mom about this Dear Future. I keep saying Dear Future CRO. Dear Future CRO is my podcast. Diary of a CEO podcast. And it is all about women's health. It's 7 hours of basically Stephen Bartlett interviewing these 4 specialists in women's health. There's one that's focused around basically longevity and fitness and professional athletes. There's one that is a trained OBGYN that really focuses on women's health. I checked her out. She has like 1 million followers. Her content's awesome. The third is a fertility specialist who focuses on all aspects of fertility, but even past fertility. So she focuses on folks that have PCOS and endometriosis. She has PCOS herself, but helps them conceive and get pregnant and have successful pregnancies. And then there's a 4th person who focuses specifically on bones. She's an orthopedic surgeon, essentially. And so she focuses on longevity of women and women's bones and bone density and bone health for later on in their life. Because apparently there's some crazy stat like 60% of women will like, I don't know the stat. I don't want to make up the stat, but it's something crazy around later on in our lives. Our bones are so much more brittle than men's because of a lot of women's health stuff that we're not considering earlier on in our lives. Anyway, this podcast, actually, I should link my, let me actually link my, like link in bio, Stan Store. And basically in it, hold on, let me grab you the link because then you can get the link to the podcast. It's like so good. He's back. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the link. And here comes my husband. Don't mind him. Oh, and other dogs. Oh, hi, Scotty. Did you jump off the bit? What? You coming up here? Come on. You're coming anyway. Oh, there goes the other one. Come on. Okay, they've decided to join. Come on, come on. Okay, here we go. Hi. Hello. Yes, you can have my attention. What's up? Come on, Scotty. Okay, maybe not. All right, Amanda, why are you so crazy? Anyway, let me get you guys the link. One sec. Oh, here's the link. So let me add the link. Here it is. That's the link to my Stan Store. Let me pin it. Okay, so let me explain what you're getting to when you get to the link. Basically, in the link, you'll go to like the women's health area, and there will be the link to both podcasts. So, anyway, all that to say, so I will tell you, like the total podcast, one's like 3.5 hours, the other one is like 4.5 hours. So it's like 7 hours plus long. I'm just going to call it and tell you right now that it's that long. You will fly through it. I'm telling you right now, okay? Because it's that good. Anywho, in the podcast itself, they talk about absolutely everything that our moms either didn't know to teach us or couldn't teach us or just weren't comfortable talking about, and that quite frankly the healthcare institutions also don't know and don't talk to us about, like, at all. And so it was eye-opening, especially for me personally. I am, call it what it is. I'm a 41-year-old woman. I have stage 4 endometriosis, like deeply infiltrated endometriosis. I can't talk today. And Scotty has decided to show his face. You want to say what's up? You're just freaking out. He's okay. All right. Okay. You're going to be in my armpit. Got it. We're going to my armpit. Anyway, you're not going to say hello? No? Okay. Anyway, so I think I told you my deal, and I'm also, we're trying to start a family. So for us, fertility is incredibly important, not just healing endometriosis. And with me in particular, with having like deep infiltrated endometriosis, there's a lot of like surgery that's needed to like get all of the stuff out before, like get all the stuff out, which would affect my egg count. So we're focused on making babies first, and then we'll eventually get all the gunk out so we can, start implantation. Anyway, that's a whole another live for another day. But what I wanted to tell you is, if you're like, oh my God, I don't feel like listening to 7 hours, Esther, give me the skinny, I'm going to give you the skinny. Mind you, it's a skinny from my perspective of like somebody who is 41, has stage 4 endometriosis, and wants to have a family, right? Wants to carry pregnancies going forward, right? So to each their own. I say you listen to it. I don't know if you can hear her. I feel like she sounds like a newborn baby. Let's just give her the mic. What's up, Carrie? Yeah? Do you hear that? I love this new mic, guys. You want to eat it? What do you think of this? Anyway, she sounds like so cute. I'm gonna try to like get her to snore on this thing. Oh, you just keep. What's that? What do you think of it? You're over it? You don't want to? No? Okay, she's done. All right. Anyway, so if you don't feel like listening to the whole damn thing, let me give you the skinny. So basically, thank you for thinking she's so cute. She knows she's cute, by the way. She's like a big old chunk of pillow. She knows she's cute. Let's not give her any more than she needs. But okay, so let me give you the skinny. So if I had to create a list, here would be the list of things that you get from that 7-hour data-rich, research-rich podcast, by the way. Like I wouldn't just take what I'm sharing with you now. I would 1000% go listen to that podcast. Like, got my whole life. But if you're like, I'm a little too lazy, give me the skinny Esther, here it is. So, number one, they lied to us. Weight training is incredibly important for women's health. Like, we need to be lifting weights. And no, we shouldn't be like, oh my God, but I don't want to get bulky and I don't want to look manly and toned. No, ladies, we actually need healthy, strong muscles, and we only build those muscles from eating protein and lifting weights. And it not only helps our muscles, but it also helps our bones. Our good muscle health helps our hormone health. Our bones healthy bones help replenish the bone density we lose from not having enough estrogen, and we lose we slow down the production of estrogen when we're on birth control for a really long time. I don't know about you, but the minute these people heard I had endometriosis as a kid, they couldn't wait to throw birth control at me. And I basically I've been on birth control since I was like, I want to say 16 or 17, maybe 17. 17! Just trying to like hold back my endometriosis symptoms and not realizing from 17 until now, that has been suppressed estrogen for me all of those years. Granted, for someone with endometriosis, endometriosis feeds on estrogen, so it's kind of like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. However, I got to do something with my bone density. I've actually never even gotten a bone density scan before. I don't know what my bone density is. I have no clue. So I need to go ask that. Oh, thanks for the compliment on how I look. I did like anyway, sidebar. I recorded who am I? I recorded a casting today. Like, what? I don't even know. But anyway, I recorded that today. So that's why I have makeup on. Because, your girl sometimes is like, I never wear makeup. Anyway, I'm trying to do that more. We're working on it. Okay, so number 1, lift weights. Number 2, craziest thing, another lie that I was like, oh my God, I had no idea, was this whole thing about intermittent fasting is a total lie. A total lie. Like juice fasting, or like water fasting, or like putting your body into starvation mode. There's not benefits to that. There aren't. Sorry, there's not. At least for women. So here's the effects of it for women. And especially, I'm listening to it. Ooh, I keep hitting this mic. This is new for me, you guys. I got this new mic. Especially because for people with endometriosis, and I will speak for people with endometriosis, I will speak for myself. When you put your body in starvation mode, it goes into your body responds with a stress response, which then triggers inflammation. And endometriosis is basically an inflammation management task. Like having endometriosis, you are like managing inflammation in your entire body. Like you need to not have any stress or chronic stress in your body, which will trigger inflammation that will stay in your body and, cause all kind of pain and all the things. So who knew? Like fasting, actually, you might see like short term, like, oh, maybe you lose some weight or whatever, but the medium to longer term effects is the inflammation that triggers in your body. Not to mention, if you're doing a juice cleanse, that is like a crazy, like glucose spike to your body without the fiber that you actually need from all those fruits and vegetables that you're dassing up to drink. You need the fiber. You actually need the fiber more than you need just the glucose from like taking all the fiber out and just drinking the juice. Who freaking knew? I'm not really a big fan of juice cleanse anyway, because it just would seem too sweet for me and then I would never do it. So now I realize why. Anyway, so that's that. The other thing that was crazy was how little research there is in women's health in general. So a couple things that I knew already. One thing I knew already was women have not been included in clinical trials in the medical industry as a whole until the 90s. I think it's somewhere in like 1993 was the first time a woman was invited into a clinical trial. And so any studies or education or anything in the medical world as it related to women's health prior to 1993 was basically just based on a man and assuming the only difference here between a little man and a woman are breasts and a uterus. I'm sorry, what? There's so many other things that are different between our bodies, and they talk about it on the podcast. Just like, yes, can I finish? Okay, is that all right? What's up? You doing all right? You doing okay? Can I keep going? All right. Clearly, you're absolutely right. Must need attention. I don't even know. Meanwhile, Carrie is snoring like a mofo. I'm going to give her the mic in a second and you're going to hear it because it's the cutest thing on the planet. Anyway, so like, basically, so I already knew that like women's health didn't have as much attention or research or distinction between the male body and the research put behind the male body until very recently. Now, on the podcast, they talk about how, like, there isn't any study, any widespread study on perimenopause at all, globally. Okay. Yeah, scary. Now, there's maybe y'all doctors know this, I don't, but there is this huge hub where all doctors and researchers go for medical research called PubMed, right? In PubMed, you can go in and you can find research studies, clinical trials, like all data and research on anything that has been researched, and it's in this one area. Now you can go into this database, and apparently the OBGYN specialist on the podcast says you go into the database today and you put in pregnancy, and you'd probably get 1.2 to 1.3 million studies done. Great, you want that. We need actually even more, to be frank. So that's great. If you go into that same database and put in menopause, you get something like 99,000. If you go in and you put perimenopause, there's less than 10,000 in there. Guys, women make up 51% of the population, and they're not studying how our hormones work, how our hormones might interact with other medications, how our hormones affect our brain, our lungs, our heart, our nervous system, our gastric system. It's barely studied. So it makes sense why I'll sit there and freak out, because I'm having these weird things happen in my body, and I go to umpteen doctors and they have no idea. Oh, you must just be tired or stressed or need to eat more or sleep better. Seriously? Anyway, you guys, I'm telling you, you have to listen into it. The other thing that I really appreciated is that they didn't make it seem all doom and gloom. They gave like practical things you can do to combat the system and elongate your life. And they came at it from different perspectives, because a woman's body is more than just her childbirthing years. She is more than just a milking cow that is going to bring life into the world. But all of her body, the entire system is regulated by hormones. Hormones are the signals that are sent back and forth. And what they share is that a telltale sign for any problem in the system is if your period is not regular. Not even just your period, but your entire cycle. So the period to ovulation phase, which is the follicular phase, the ovulation phase, that spot 5 days in the middle where you're going to ovulate and release an egg, and the luteal phase, meaning from after that egg's released to the time right before your period, a luteal phase, and then your period itself. Like, that should literally be clockwork and happen on a map, like, no doubt, 24 to 27 days, like that. If it is off, that is a telltale sign that there's something going in your body. But guess what? Most of us have been on birth control since we were kids. And when I say kids, I mean under 21. Like, I'm sorry, if I'm under 21, I'm a child. Like, since we were children, on birth control. Oh, I have really bad acne. Let's put you on birth control. Oh, I have really bad periods. Let's put you on birth control. Oh, I feel really fatigued for the week after I have my period. Let's put you on birth control. Birth control is oversubscribed. Birth control, not all, but most, typically are going to drain you of estrogen, and you need that to be balanced with progesterone so that you can tell if there's something off. And there may be something off for years. Like for myself, I was on birth control for all of the years. It wasn't until from when I was like 16, 17 years old until 2009, I was 25. And I was like, you know what? Let me try getting off of birth control and see what it's like. Y'all, had I not done that, I would have never been diagnosed with endometriosis because my body went wild. I'd never had pain that bad. I had bad cramps as a kid, but God, nothing like that without birth control. And I had no idea because I wasn't tracking my cycles. Birth control basically took away my cycle. So I was like, great, I can be an athlete, I can dance, I can do all the things. I'll never have to worry about it. And I don't have to worry about cramps either. Meanwhile, there are like bigger problems going on. You can't really track unless you have full access to what your normal is. And they talk about it on the podcast. You guys, I'm telling you, I linked my Stan store in there. There are a ton of other freebies, but the thing I want you to go to if you're hearing this is to go to my page and go to those. I literally link those podcasts on my page for a reason, because if anybody meets me, I want them to listen to this podcast. If you have a uterus or you care about anybody else who does, you need to listen to that podcast. Like, legit. I know it's long. It's like 7 hours. It's in 2 parts. You can listen to it really fast, like I sometimes do. Guilty. But it is 1,000% worth it. Like, 1,000% worth it. Okay, can we take a quick break real quick and hear this girl snore? Because Carrie. Oh, Carrie, did I wake you up? I'm so sorry. Oh, she said, not today. Anyway, you guys, I know she is. She's just like a little chunk of pillow. She really is. I just want to like eat her alive. You hear it? Like, I can't even deal. I can't even. Anyway, so you guys, please, I'm telling you, please listen to that podcast. It's so worth it. Women, oh my God, this was the other thing. Now, granted, I have only experienced one pregnancy loss. I've been very open about it. It was during my second trimester, and only, I think it's like something like less than 3% of pregnancies are lost in the second trimester. The majority are lost in the first trimester. And there's no, either way, whether you lose it in the first, second, or third, which I've had a friend who has lost a baby in the third trimester, and it's devastating. Either way, it's devastating, no matter when you do. Let me just be clear. And one thing they mentioned in the podcast that's also talked about is if you have multiple miscarriages, that is a signal that something isn't right. It's not just normal and everybody deals with it. No. One, okay, maybe. Multiple, there's something going on. And it's so important to go and get support from a specialist. And that may not be your OBGYN, because the OBGYN is focused on what? GYN and getting you pregnant to deliver a baby. You might need to go see a specialist that can really help figure out what is going on, or find the underlying things that are deeper that could be the reason why you're continuing to have these miscarriages. So anyway, and it's hard because when you're there and you've experienced that, your mind isn't necessarily in the space to be like, oh, well, let me go dig in and investigate further. It's like, I don't know. There's a weird part about grief for pregnancy loss, because usually you're not grieving with a group of others. You're usually grieving with yourself and maybe your partner, or maybe even yourself if you decided to go about creating life on your own. It can be a little bit lonely. It's very different than like losing a family member, at least from that I've seen. And so sometimes you don't want to go and investigate or talk about it more or dig into the details because it's just so painful and it's very lonely. And I also think it's still important to get answers for our bodies. Like, you wouldn't dismiss it if it was your child that were sick. So we shouldn't dismiss it for ourselves and our bodies. Just saying. Anyway, y'all, so that was the deal. I don't know if you've got like questions or anything, or just want to hear Carrie snore some more, but like, man, I'm telling you, it like, I would tell anybody, if you've got a uterus or you care about somebody who has a uterus, you need to listen to that podcast series. Part 1, Part 2. I will be singing it from the mountaintops and telling everybody. I've linked my Stan Store. It's available in my Stan Store. Please go listen to that podcast and share it with any woman you know, whether they're childbearing, whether they do not want to have children, whether they're postmenopausal, whether they're perimenopause state, whether they're a teen. I mean, gosh, I wish I would have listened to this as a teenager. There were things I would be doing as a teenager that would prepare my body for my 41-year-old self now. And there are changes I'm going to make now from after listening to that podcast that I will do to prepare for my 60-year-old self and my 80-year-old self, by God's name, willing that I make it that far. All right, last thing I'm going to say that I learned on the podcast that no one talks about is menopause. Oh my God. So one thing they mentioned in the podcast is that you're 6 times more likely to follow the age that your mother went into. Excuse me. I definitely just burped right now. Don't judge me. We had a late lunch. I cooked a lot of food. So anyway, ignore that. But there's a 6x chance that you are going to likely go into menopause when your mom went into menopause. But she also mentioned on the podcast, the fertility specialist did. She's like, I ask all my patients, so when did your mom go into menopause? And most of them don't know. I'll be honest, I've never had that conversation with my mom. My mom's no longer here. God rest her soul. But like, I wish I could ask my mom, wait, Mom, when did it happen? And it's a point in time. It's not like, I didn't know this either, according to the podcast, like the menopause portion is a point in time. There is either perimenopause or there is postmenopause. The menopause part is a point in time. And that's it. And that point in time is when there are no more eggs in the reserve to release with every cycle. Usually that means that ends up happening. It stops your period from coming. But what they also mention is that perimenopause is usually 7 to 10 years prior to that. And there are symptoms of perimenopause that aren't irregular periods. So you could be experiencing symptoms of perimenopause, but still have your period and still have a cycle that's very regular and still be able to have childbirth and still be able to still be releasing eggs and all the things, and have symptoms of, be it fatigue, be it unexplained symptoms that are tied to the fact that your ovarian reserve has a lot less eggs than it usually does, that you've had your whole life, and your ovaries are trying to hold on to those eggs for dear life. However, your brain and the rest of your body is like, give me those eggs. I need the estrogen. I need the hormones. And the two of them are fighting and like, having a little for that between them. And because that's happening, you are having all these weird hormonal things, night sweats, fatigue, brain fog, unexplained pain. And I'm listening to this, you guys, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, because let me get off. Mind you, I have stage 4 endometriosis. I currently am on hormone therapy and I'm going through IVF right now. But let me miss a few days of taking progesterone and I will wake up at 2 a.m. in literally a puddle of sweat. Anybody else? Am I the only one? Is it just me? Because, like, I mean drenched. Like, you go to my side of the bed and it's basically like a pool. I had no idea that that's what that was tied to. And that was happening to me before I even left Dubai. That's been happening to me for like a few years. And I just was like, what is this? I don't know what's going on with me. Y'all, you need to listen to this podcast. I'm going to keep saying it. And in between me saying it, I'm going to let you hear Carrie snore. Okay, you want to go outside? You want to go to the park? All of a sudden. You want to go to the park? No? Maybe? Oh, I guess that might be a no, you guys. Anyway, I really, really hope this is helpful. I am begging you, friends. I am begging you. Do you hear me? Begging. If you have a uterus, or you love or care for or work with somebody who also does, you need to make sure they have heard or have access to the the Diary of a CEO podcast that's focused on women's health. It's a 2-part series. The entire thing in total is a little over 7 hours. You can throw it on Spotify and listen to it in the car, on a commute. I'm telling you, it is worth it. It is worth it, my people. It is worth it. I will never let a woman go by that I do not share it with, and I am praying you do the same. Anyway, y'all, I hope you're having a wonderful start to the week. If you're like me and you're like, holy crap, I want to do a nice little shock to the system and like really try to replenish my body with some things and create new habits, I am doing a 30-day challenge. I'm doing it. I'm really just looking for like accountability partners. Because like if I don't tell anybody about it, I will go into a nice little hole and not do it and not like commit to the things. But I'm committing to it, y'all. I'm committing. And I'm sharing it with as many people as I can, because if I share it with more people and more of my community know about it, that means more will likely hold me accountable to doing the things. So here's a challenge. All of November, 30 days, you've got to eat fiber and protein with every meal, whatever that looks like to you. Fiber and protein with every meal. You've got to eat while the sun is out. So sunrise, get to eating within an hour before you wake up, and the sun is getting ready to go down. You better scarf down that meal because you need to eat 3 hours before you go to bed. So that's the food part. The sleeping part is just getting 8 hours of sleep, 7 to 8 hours of sleep continuously. So that's the sleeping part. The movement part is like getting some sort of movement every single day, whether that's walking, whether that is, working out, whatever your thing is, like, do you. Like, it is what it is. For me, I am trying to, like, I know myself, and if I don't habit stack or make it part of my day, I likely won't do it. Right? Like, I'm not a gym, hey, let's go to the gym type person. That's not me. But I will replace hey, let's meet for coffee for let's go for a long walk for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, let's meet for a drink, and replace that with, hey, let's go take a Pilates class and go get a smoothie after. Yeah. So whatever works for you, you make it happen, but something every single day, whether that's walking, whether that's push-ups, whether that's in the gym, whether that's taking a class, whatever works for you. And then the last thing is like, get an accountability partner. Tell people. I created a little group chat where we're going to be just sharing supplements and food and what we're eating and what we're doing, just to like keep each other sane or maybe keep me sane. So you're welcome to join that. If not, whatever, do you. I don't need to be in your business. You could do whatever you want to do, but we're doing it for all of November, girl. And the other thing that's important is no alcohol. So dry November. Anyway, so I hope that is helpful, and I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I'm trying to do the same over here. And I'm really proud of my like new mic. Anyway, I love you guys. See ya.